Pascal Brun. We are Hallerbrun. We have a studio together since 2011 here in Amsterdam.
We originally were from Switzerland, where we also grew up and graduated, and now we're living since almost 20 years in the Netherlands.
I think it was really very inspiring that we both could work in these studios. It's also the reason, I think, at the end, it's the reason why we are still here, because when we started, we didn't think to stay that long in Amsterdam, but then we started at those studios, and then you stay longer because it's so interesting what you can do and learn there. And I think what I still keep in mind is that if we start, I think that's the same with Tonic also a bit. If we start with a project, we kind of try to find one overall idea or concept for the whole thing. And then we see how we define it further in all details. But this is, kind of a thing I really learned in the studio, and also to dare. I think we're used from Switzerland, it's much more a bit diplomatic and a bit nicer, and the Dutch way of thinking, so to be a bit more bold and have this strong concept, that's really what we learned here. No, we didn't quit at the same time. We didn't dare that.
Yeah, actually, Sonja first stopped and then started for her own office, and I think like 2 years later I also joined her.
It's always the thing, the question, when do we do it? You always have the idea, you would like to do it, but when is the best moment to do it? So at some point we just decided, okay, now I stop, and we just try. And it's not that I had a very well-running studio when Pascal joined in, not at all, but at some point we also thought, like, let's just try it. What can we lose? I mean, we try it, and if it's working, then it's great, and if not, then we have to find a job again.
One of the first things was actually the new identity and like the signage for the Amsterdam Tulip Museum, which is quite funny since we never had such a
assignment after anymore.
No, exactly.
No. And it was also not the best collaboration, I have to say.
Yeah, it was actually within the team. There was a young architect studio, yes. And you have also quite a young curator, and we were the designers. So within the team we had a really good spirit, and we also had the same vision of what we would like to achieve. But actually what we just came behind after a while is that the client had some other vision. So that was
a bumpy start.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think definitely we also kept things from like our roots, like how detailed we are, how precise we are, and
care for typography also.
Yeah, exactly, and really also like details, micro typography.
Yeah. So it's in your genes.
Yeah, and I think really this combination, what we have, that it's not only about like the big idea and the concept, but it's also about the execution, so that it really everything is really well executed, or has to be well executed also in every sense. Actually.
Yeah, and we really, when we start somewhere, at the end everything has a reason in it. So we kind of always need to have our rules, and then we follow it, and then we define things. And I think that to go from this big to this small is something I think which is kind of the combination which makes us now, this Dutch-Swiss kind of mix thing. I also can't say, sometimes people ask if we are Swiss designers or Dutch designers, and I think we are neither nor. We are not Swiss and not Dutch. We are something unique now. I don't know if it's the city. I think it's also the city, but it's the people in the city. It's the people you work with. I think that has a big influence on you. Yeah, the collaborations, the publishers, the artists, the architects, just the people we work with. That is a big influence. There are many.
Yeah.
Every project has its challenge, I think.
Yeah, definitely, and especially also this bigger book projects. They're often they're running for a longer time, so it's they all have their own challenges. But I think that also makes it interesting. And
maybe we can tell a little bit about this one. It's called Capturing Nature. It's a book about books. It's a collection of around 130 books which all have one topic. It's about nature printing. It starts in 1733 and goes until 1912. And it's in these books, there are all kind of different techniques developed how you can print plants, so that you don't need to illustrate them anymore, but that you can make prints and that you can make an edition of several books, or that to spread the information and the knowledge of plants and botanics and biology. There is a book collector which collected all these books over many years, and then there came Corona, and he suddenly had time and realized what he collected over the past 20 years, and wanted to make a catalogue about the whole collection. Yes, and that was a really, really nice project, but the challenge was that there was not so much time to work on it. And there was no publisher involved, so it was also kind of there was an author and the collector who was also writing some and inviting people to collaborate in the book, and then we had to make the book. The green line in the book is actually that you kind of make a zoom through the whole. So you start really, in the beginning, you really start close up. You have many of each technique, so there are around 40 different techniques in the books, and of each technique we took one sample and made a close up, and then while you go further you zoom out more and more and more. So then you see more kind of a page, and then you see really a page, and then a spread, and then you see several spreads until the middle. And then you have these two green sections where the different techniques are described. We have direct and indirect techniques. And really in the middle is the list of the whole collection. And then after that, you make the whole thing out again.
Actually, the collector, this Monsieur Zucker from Zucker Art Books, he was also the publisher then himself.
Yeah. And he's distributing it also. We didn't know anything about it, to be honest. No, but it's really amazing. I mean, it's also they were so elaborate at some point, and so beautiful also made. I mean, you can't print like this anymore today. Actually, there were better prints at some point than what we are able to do today, because they really. Yeah. Almost all printed directly from the plant itself. So yeah, you didn't have photography, of course. That was also That's the reason. It's before photography. This is a catalogue for the Kunstmuseum in Den Haag about R. Penck, the artist. There was an exhibition in early 2020.
Yeah.
And the idea here is that you actually the catalogue is ordered the same way as the exhibition was ordered. So it's almost as if you walk through the exhibition. And the challenge was actually that we used different kind of papers. There are paintings in it, there are drawings in it, and there are sculptures in it. And we used a different paper for the paintings and a different paper for the drawings and a different paper for the texts. So the challenge was how we can follow the order of the exhibition and still have all these paper changes in the book, and that it works technically, but that it also looks good. So
yeah, and that it feels natural.
And that it feels natural.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have this uncoated paper where we did put mostly one painting per spread, or when it was a series then it's more, and then sometimes I have to find it changes, the paper changes when there is a drawing series. I think I was always already fascinated about that in making books already before. That was something I was also obsessed with before, but of course working at Irma's studio did intensify it also. And that's also something what we are always trying if we make books, that we are not starting from the layout actually. Of course that's also important, but we start to think of the object. That's also when you make books nowadays, that's also what is different than making a PDF, of course. It's printed, it's on material, it's...
it's the physical object.
It's a physical object,
yeah.
So is it light, is it heavy, is it stiff, is it very flexible, is it...
Yeah, on one hand, how should it feel, and on the other hand also how we want to tell the story of the content.
Or how do we want the reader to read the book? Is it from the beginning to the end? Or is it sometimes a bit here, sometimes a bit there? Or do we want to make it possible that you can read that way? Or do we want to make it very rigid, how you have to go through the book? That's also something we play a lot with.
Yeah, the structure, and also then looking for the right materialization of the different parts. Or